Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear student, Assalamu alaikum. It's me, Dr. Mansoor Khan, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Kohat University of Science and Technology. The course which is assigned to me is Analytical Chemistry with the course code Chem 351. And today I am going to present my first lecture, which is based on test of significance. This slide shows the outline of today's lecture, which will include introduction to the test of significance, important terminologies which is used in statistics, F-test and its significance in analytical chemistry, and T-test and its significance in analytical chemistry will be discussed. The first one is introduction. Now, first the question arises that what is analytical chemistry? Analytical chemistry basically deals with quantitative and qualitative analysis, and the role of analytical chemist is to develop method for quantitative and qualitative analysis of any sample which is to be analyzed. Now, it is often desirable to compare the result of that method with those on an accepted method. For example, when analytical chemistry develop a method by performing experiment, they are oftenly then compared with other accepted methods which are present in the literature. Now, if your method is significant or non-significant, then statistics will basically tells us about the significance of the method. So today's lecture is about test of significance, which are some of the parameters of statistics which will clarify that whether your method, the developed method, is significant or non-significant. This slide shows the important terminologies. These are terminologies of statistics which are very important and extensively used in analytical chemistry. So before directly going to the test of significance, these terminologies are very important to learn. So the first one is population. Population is an infinite collection of elements, for example, individual, item, and observation. So in case of analytical chemistry, we will deal with experimental observation that we are collected in the laboratory, or for example, collection of soil sample. So when the number of sample which is collected from the soil is too large, then it is called population. So what is sample? Sample is a part or subset of population. It is basically that part of population which is the structural representation of the population. It consists of all the ingredients which a population contains. The third one is parameters. So constant that describe population is called parameter, and statistic a quantity that describe sample, for example, function and observation. So in analytical chemistry, oftenly we will deal with sample and statistic. Another important terminology is confidence limits and confidence interval. Now, often we will see in test of significance that at 95% confidence limit, at 90% confidence limit, or at 99% confidence limit. This confidence calculation of confidence limits and confidence level is of immense importance. This is basically coming from probability, that how much you are confident in between two limits that the true value is present. So statistical theory, according to statistical theory, which allow us to estimate the range within which the true value is present. This range is called confidence limit interval, and the limit of this range are called confidence limit. One is upper limit and the other one is lower limit. So the true value is basically present between upper and lower limit. This is likelihood that the true value falls within the range, which is called the confidence level. So you are confident that how much you are confident: 90% confident, 95% confident, and 99% confidence. Remember one thing: with increase in the confidence interval, the probability of presence of the true value or accepted value is high. Okay, so when we increase the interval, then the confidence level is also going to increase. But another problem is that with increase in the confidence interval, the standard deviation is increased. So what we will do, we will select the particular confidence interval in which the standard, with a low standard deviation, in which we are 90% or 95% or 99% confident that the true value is present. For example, if you are 90% confident, it means that the confidence interval are small. There is a small interval. If you increases the interval, you will be 95% increase, will be confident. If you increase further, then you will be 99% confident that the true value is present. Confidence limit can be calculated by using the following three equations. Equation number 1, in which confidence limit is equal to x plus minus ts divided by n under the root, where the upper limit, the equation for calculating the upper limit is equal to x plus ts divided by n under the root, while for the calculation of the lower limit of the confidence interval is equal to x minus ts divided by n under the root, where x is equal to mean of the data set, t is a tabulated value which is already given in the textbook. We will calculate the t value at the particular number of degree of freedom, where s is the standard deviation. We know that how to calculate the standard deviation, and n is the number of measurements which obtained by using experimental work in the laboratory. Now in the next slide we will give you an example which will explain that how the confidence limit can be calculated, how the confidence level interval can be calculated, and how we use this in the statistical analysis in analytical chemistry, that where the true, or we can say the accepted value, is present. This is an example which is taken from Basic Analytical Chemistry book, J.D. Christian. I do not want to write the statement of the whole example, because then the slide will become more and more congested. But what is the example? The example is the determination of sodium carbonate in commercial washing soda. by using hydrochloric acid as a titrant. In the data, it shows the result which were obtained during the titration study. So the data consists of 3 readings, because it is a rule in analytical chemistry that each operation can be performed 3 times, and also for calculation of standard deviation and vice versa. So the data consist is equal to 93.50%, 93.58% and 93.43% by weight of sodium carbonate is present in that particular commercial washing soda. Now the question is that within what range you are 95% confident that the true value is present. No, the 95% confidence level basically come from study of probability, which is beyond the scope of this lecture. So after the solution, the mean of the data were calculated, which is equal to 93.50% by weight. I am not going to detail that how the mean can be calculated, because my other lectures are, there is a complete lecture is present in which we explain that how the mean of the data set can be calculated. Similar, the standard deviation is also given, and we are not going in detail that how the standard deviation is calculating, because in my previous lecture I will give you a detail that how the standard deviation can be calculated. The confidence level of the 2 degree of freedom is given, which is 95%, and the tabulated value, which is a statistical constant, T is basically equal to 4.303%. As we know that the equation which is used for the calculation of confidence limit is equal to x plus minus Ts divided by under the root number of measurement under the root. So by putting all the values, we calculate the upper limit and also the lower limit. The upper limit value is 93.6% and the lower limit value is 93.31%. Now, how we can, this is important for an analytical chemist. These are the 2 limits in which the true value is present, from 93.69 to 93.31%. So it means that the true value is present in between these 2 limits, and the range is from 93.69 to 93.39%. So value may be 93.69%, it may be 93.68%, it may be, so there is unlimited numbers which is present between 93.31 to 93.6%. Now, as we have mentioned in our previous lecture, that when we increase the confidence interval, the confidence level is increases. So if we increases from 93.69 to 93.70, 93.71, and on the other hand, on the lower limit, if we decreases the value 93.31 to 93.30, 93.29, it means that we are increasing the range. So with increasing this interval, the confidence level will be increased, but the standard deviation will be also increased, which we do not want to be increased in most of the analytical chemistry. So this example clearly shows that the true value is basically present between these 2 limits. So this is the importance of confidence interval and confidence limit, that it tells us the range in which the true value is present. Now the first test of significance is F-test. The F-test is used to determine if the 2 variances are statistically different. So in F-test we compare variance of the accepted method and newly developed method. As we can say, the test of significance is used whether the method which is developed is significant or non-significant. That's why they are called test of significance. So in F test we compare variances of the two methods. This is the test designed to indicate whether there is a significant difference between the methods based on the standard deviation. Actually, square of the standard deviation is called variance. I am not going in detail to discuss standard deviation and variance here, because I will discuss in detail about measurement of spread and measurement of central tendency, which will cover all the mean, calculation of mean, and calculation of standard deviation and variance, etc., etc. Mathematically, F test can be calculated by using the equation where F is equal to the ratio of the variances of your method to the variance of the accepted method. S1 square is the variance of your method, and S2 square is the variance of the accepted method, already reported method. So there are two. So where V1 and V2 are the degree of freedom. So degree of freedom is equal to n minus 1. N is number of measurements for each case. So there are two possibilities. Number one, if F calculated is less than F tabulated. F calculated is calculated by the above equation. F tabulated is present in the table which is given in the textbook, calculated by using probability, statistical probability, which is beyond the scope of this course. So method is significant or accepted. So if F calculated is greater than F tabulated, the method is non-significant or unaccepted. It means that when F calculated is greater, it means the variance of the developed method is higher as compared to the variance of the accepted method. So F test compare the two methods using precision of the data set, because variance is the calculation of the precision. So F test tells us that which method is more precise, which data set is more precise, which is coming from your method and accepted method. In this slide, we have given the example that how the two methods, or you can say your method, which is newly developed in the laboratory, can be compared with standard procedure or standard method or accepted method. In this method, these two methods were used for determination of glucose content in the blood serum. The data which is coming from two procedures is given. Your method is given to 126. Your method, the content of glucose in the blood serum is given in milligram per deciliter, which is equal to 127, 125, 123, 130, 131, 126, 129. The mean of the result is equal to x1, which is equal to 127. While the standard method, the accepted method, which is used for the calculation of glucose content in the blood serum, is Follen-Wu method, and the result obtained by using Follen-Wu procedure is given as 130, 128, 131, 129, 127 and 125, and the mean of the result is equal to x2, which is equal to 128. Now the question is that how your method is compared with Follel-Wupf method. Now the question is that now the significance of the f-test is your method is significant or non-significant. Now we can apply. First we will calculate variance of your method. So the value of the variance is 8.3. Variance of the second method or Follel-Wupf method is equal to 4.8. So after calculating f is equal to 1.73, this is called f calculated, while f tabulated and 95% confidence limit, which is present in the table, which is present in the textbook in analytical chemistry, is equal to 4.95. as f calculated is less than f tabulated, therefore the method is significant. Another test of significance is called t-test. T-test has the same significance like that of f-test. It is also used to compare the two data set, which is compare from your method and that of accepted method, or in other words, it is also the comparison of the significance of your method and accepted method. In t-test, we used to determine if the two sets of measurement are statistically different from each other or not. Same like in f-test, if t calculated is greater than t tabulated, then the two sets are significantly different at the chosen confidence limit, and your method will be non-significant. Your method will be rejected. If t calculated is less than t tabulated, then it means that there is no significant difference between the two methods, so your method will be accepted, exactly like in f-test. In this method, comparison is made, the only difference between f-test and t-test is in this method comparison is made between test method and the other will be an accepted or benchmark method by using their accuracy, while in precision we have used, while in f-test we have used precision of the method, while in test we will use accuracy of the method. T-test can be categorized into t-test when the accepted value is present, comparison of the mean of the result, and pair t-test. So we can calculate the t value by using different equation which is used in different situations. Now the first t-test is when the accepted value is present. In this case, the mean of the result is compared with a true or accepted value. Mathematically, t calculated is equal to x minus mu n under the root divided by s, where x is mean of the results, mu true or accepted value, n number of measurements, s standard deviation. So t calculated is then compared with t tabulated, and if t calculated is greater than t tabulated, then the method is insignificant. Second, if t calculated is less than t tabulated, then the method is significant or acceptable. This is the example that how test of significant or t-test can be calculated when the accepted value is present. So the example is 5 replicas are sampled and analyzed, and the mean of the result is equal to 10.8 ppm with standard deviation 0.7 ppm, and the reference value, or you can say accepted value, is equal to 11.7 ppm. This 11.7 ppm is the accepted value, or we can say the true value. So that when the true value is present, then we apply the first case of the t-test. Now the question is, does your method give a statistically correct value relatively to the certified value at 95% confidence level? So the solution is, as we know that t calculated is equal to x minus mu under the root n divided by s. Putting the values, we will the t calculated value is 2.9 and t tabulated is 2.77. Because t calculated is greater than t tabulated, because 2.9 is greater than 2.77 at 95% confidence limit. So your method is insignificant, your method is non-acceptable. What it means? It means that in this t-test we compare the accuracy of the true method. Because the true value is present, we compare the mean of the result of your method with the accepted value or the true value. That's why we say that in t-test we basically measure the accuracy of the method. The second t-test is comparison of the means of the two methods. In this method, the mean of your method and accepted method is then our standard method is compared. When the t-test is applied to the two set of data, mu in equation of the first t-test is replaced by the mean of the second set. So in this case we don't have a true value. So what we do, we basically calculate the mean The example is a new gravimetric method is developed for iron 3, in which their iron is precipitated in crystalline form with an organoboron cage compound. The accuracy of the method is checked by determining the iron in an ore sample. The third t-test is called pair t-test. In pair t-test, the two data sets are paired with each other. In this case, the t value is calculated in a slightly different form using the following equation, which is equal to, the t is equal to d in parenthesis divided by standard deviation under the root n, where st, this is a special type of standard deviation which is equal to summation di minus d whole square divided under the root divided by n minus 1, where di is the individual difference between the two methods for each sample with regard to sign, and d is the mean of all the individual differences. The example will tell us how this test can be applicable. This is an example that how peer t-test can be applied. So the example is you are developing a new analytical method for the determination of blood urea nitrogen. You want to ascertain whether your method differs significantly from, and thanks for your patience.